Cingari here talking Lion Fight 35 with Chip the Surgeon Moraza Pollard. Chip has a big fight coming up on March 3rd from the Foxwoods Casino and Resort. Hey there, Chip. Welcome to the show. I also want to thank all our viewers for tuning in tonight.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Hey, so Chip, before we get started, I've got a lot of family back up in the Boston area, and some of my viewers like to find out what the temperature is. I dare say I'm in Florida, so we were in shorts today. What's the temperature like there tonight?
Actually, today was very warm. Today, it definitely felt like spring out there. I think it was like mid-60s. So for February over here, it pretty much melted all the snow that we had left.
Good for you. I know it has been a tough winter up there. Anyway, let's move on to the fight. You're about a week away. How are you feeling going into this fight then?
I'm feeling good. Same as always, just another Friday night. That's all it is. That's all it's going to be. But yeah, I feel good, feel confident, healthy, ready to roll, ready to get it over with so I can start eating food again.
Spoken like a true fighter. You know, I looked around for some information on Scott. You have a lot more experience than him, plus a 3-inch reach advantage. Do you think that makes this an easy win for you?
I don't think there's any such thing as an easy win. It's like my last fight, the guy had 20 pro Muay Thai fights. Right. I had no pro Muay Thai fights. So that should have been an easy win for him if that's how you went about, like, figuring out who was going to be the victor. But clearly it wasn't. So you can't underestimate anybody. You can't think you're going to just have an easy time with anybody. Pretty much everybody I fight is a beast, so you got to figure they're all capable of knocking you out, but you just got to not let that happen.
Speaking of that fight, congratulations over your huge win over veteran Brett Hlavacek at Lion Fight 33. You drew massive praise. We have some video of that fight. Can you break it down for us?
Yeah, I felt really comfortable in that fight. Obviously, like I said, he had 20 pro Muay Thai fights. That was my first pro Muay Thai fight. My record was 1-0, but the first one was a kickboxing match, which is a different rule set. So this was the first time to just be full professional Thai rules with the elbows and sweeps and everything like that. And I knew he was really tricky, really experienced, but like I said, I'm pretty experienced myself. I've had about 20 pro MMA fights, so I kind of anticipated giving him a couple of things that he might not have been used to seeing from somebody that was just a typical Muay Thai fighter, just because I have a kind of diverse skill set and not just Muay Thai. I have good Muay Thai, but I also have pretty good boxing and my karate background and everything, just kind of incorporating it all together. I knew that I'd give him a tough time.
Were you surprised by the split decision win? The announcers were certainly surprised.
Yeah, I think everybody was surprised by that. It's like, I don't know, I knew I won the fight. Like, if they had gave it to him for whatever crazy reason, I probably would have just laughed, just because anybody who watched that fight, they knew that I won the fight. So the fact that it was a split decision, I think it gets to other people more than it gets to me. It just kind of makes me chuckle a little bit. But I wasn't really too bummed about it, just because I proved in the fight that I won. So.
You know, I know, because you're a natural-born striker, that it makes sense for you probably to have switched from MMA to Muay Thai. But tell our viewers why you made the switch.
Well, I've been a striker since I was a little kid. I started doing karate when I was 6 or 7 years old. So it's like, and before that even, I grew up watching Jackie Chan movies and Bruce Lee and Ninja Turtles and everything. So I've always wanted to be jumping and kicking and punching and everything like that. So my MMA career, that's what I was doing. I was keeping it standing. In all my 20 fights, I never tried to take anybody down once. It was everybody else that was trying to grind me down to the ground. So I felt like for a long time I knew I would flourish in a setting where all you could do was, you have no choice but to stand up with me. And if you can beat me in the stand-up, then you must be a hell of a fighter and you deserve to win.
Good for you. Makes for some very exciting fights. I think more people need to tune into Muay Thai, and I applaud Lion Fights for doing such a good job and bringing the sport to the mainstream. They're a great organization. All right. On a lighter note, one of my fortes is scouring the world of video for looking at different things that people have, and I found some video of you showing us your, I guess you could call it, dance moves. And all I can say is T. Woodley and Mike Biggie Rhodes better watch out, because those were some fierce dance moves. Let's talk about that video.
Oh, you know it. I'll break it down in the ring, in the cage, or on the dance floor. It doesn't matter. You bring me to the club and it's over.
Yeah, you had some Charleston moves going on there. I actually know how to do that. That's so funny. So you talk a little bit about what it's like to work out with your team, because it looks like you were having quite a fun time that day, but we also have some team photos of you, working out at the gym in Boston.
Yeah, so, the video of me doing a little dancing after the workout, that was down in Wareham. That's CCFA, and that's kind of like my home base. Me and Pat Schultz, who was on The Ultimate Fighter a few years back when Rampage was coaching against Forrest Griffin. He was on Rampage's team. So me and him and Joe Augusta is the strength and conditioning coach over there. That's kind of my home base. I teach a striking class Tuesday and Thursday and Wednesdays when I'm around. But yeah, those guys are awesome. I always have a great time with them. It's great seeing some of the younger guys get a lot better, and now they can not hang with me yet, but they're getting there. Eventually, I'll have them on my level. But yeah, and then also I'm up in Boston at Sityodtong, and that's where the magic happens. That's where Monday nights the gloves are being thrown and the kicks are being chucked at each other.
Right.
And it's a bunch of killers up there, and that's the reason those two gyms together kind of keeps me balanced. I have my really hard sparring and everything with all kinds of UFC fighters, pro Muay Thai fighters, pro boxers up at Sityodtong, and then I get a lot of great pad work at both places, but down at CCFA with Pat, and I get my great workouts, and I get to go over my technique with all my teammates and students down there. So I kind of have a good thing going at both places.
Good for you. Now, I know you collect comic books, and you're a sort of a superhero fan, so I got to ask you, who is your favorite superhero and why?
Right now, I'd probably say my favorite superhero. You wouldn't know him if you're not a big comic book person, but in Marvel Comics, there's a character called Karnak, and he's pretty cool to me because he technically doesn't have superpowers, but he trained at a monastery for so long and so rigorously that he gained the ability to see the weakness in anything. Weakness in a fighting style, weakness in a structure and an idea, and anything, he can see the weakness in it. And I think that always kind of resonated with me because that's something that I approach fighting. Everybody has a weakness. There's nobody that's a perfect fighter. It doesn't matter who you are. There's something that can be done to beat you. There's stuff that can be done to beat me, beat anybody. It doesn't matter. Anderson Silva, Muhammad Ali, it doesn't matter. Anybody has a weakness. It's just who has the ability to find that. So that's, Karnak from Marvel. It's going to be my favorite superhero right now.
Interesting. You sound to me like sort of you're good at analyzing and understanding your opponent.
Yes. When I was doing karate when I was a kid, my karate teacher, he gave me the nickname the Surgeon because in my tournament, I would kind of sit and observe all the kids I was going to be going up against. So by the time it was my turn to compete against them, I kind of knew their tendencies. I knew what they were going to do. And this was as a young kid. Nobody ever told me to do this, but I've always been somebody that I like to analyze my opponents and everything, and my fighting style is really technical, and I like to kind of make everything look really good, but be efficient and kind of slice you up, but at the same time make it look aesthetically pleasing.
Spoken like a true surgeon. That name totally fits you, by the way. Before we go today, Chip, anything else you want to add?
I just want to big thanks to Lion Fight for having me back and giving me the opportunity to do what I do. All my teammates up at Sityodtong, my coaches, and my students and my team down at CCFA, Pat Schultz, Bill Augusta, and then all my fans, everybody that freaking comes out to cheer me on, and some of my friends, they need to stop being so ignorant at the fights and dial it down a notch, but that's kind of part of the reason I love them. Just ready to have some fun in there next week.
All right, MMA fans, you can catch Lion Fight 35 March 3rd on AXZS TV. The fights start at 9 p.m. Eastern and 6 p.m. Pacific. I want to thank Scott Zaire for helping me set up this interview, and I want to wish you, Chip, really good luck on your fight. We'll be looking forward to watching you next week.
I appreciate it. Thanks for having me.
Before we go today, viewers, you can follow me on Twitter at Susan Cingari and on Instagram at Susan Cingari MMA. And don't forget, I love to hear fan feedback. So catch up with you next time. Thanks again, Chip.